guys, welcome to Gistbox. Today we are talking about Break the Bias, which was our theme for this year's International Women's Day, which took place 2 weeks ago. Okay, so I've been really busy, but today I'm just free. I don't have much doing, so I feel, okay, why not talk about Break the Bias, which is coming at a perfect time. Okay, so when we talk about Break the Bias, I don't know, because of my kind of person, I don't like it. I don't like to assume. Like I've always said, I want you to tell me something the way it is so we're on the same page. This is Gistbox, where you get to speak your truth without being judged. So let's talk about Break the Bias. Who exactly, when we say Break the Bias, who exactly is it for? Who exactly are we referring to? Who exactly are we talking to? Like, we need to have a definite message and definite group of people. We shouldn't be like everywhere, right? I feel when the Western world says something, we jump at it without understanding the in-depth of that thing or of the message. So let's look at it. Break the bias. Are we talking to the men? Are we talking to the women? Or are we talking to the government? Right? We need to be sure. Okay, so let's look at it. I have a lot of reasons why I feel we should be talking to the women, but let me just give you a few, right? Like, this is Gistbox. You get to speak your truth without being judged. So this is just my truth. Like I've said, this is my 2 cents. You don't have to accept everything I say, but for me, this is it. If we're looking at it, when it comes to the men, right, when we look at, okay, relationship, the man needs to understand that we're the same and everything. And I remember during Valentine, Jemima Osunde, she is someone that I love. I love to love people from afar, and she is just one of those people for me. She said something. She said, why is it that women would always be the one to go and meet the guys? Why is it that we cannot just change the reading, let it be the other way around, let the guys also come? And when she said that thing, in a way, it made a lot of sense. Like, in all ways, actually, it made a lot of sense. Women, we are always the one going. And for a very long time, why women have always been the one going is because most people, like, for a very long time, people feel if you're single and you leave your parents' place to stay alone, it means you're either a prostitute, and so many people were scared of doing that. So that is why you see women going to meet men during vows and every other celebration. But right now, I think in a way we've broken that gene, we've broken that thing. Women right now are comfortable, they feel comfortable with themselves, they have their own places. And I felt when she said that thing, in a way, I just felt like, why am I not single? Because that is something that I would have loved to do. I would have loved to practice, like, let the guy come. And I felt like, okay, since she has said it, it will ring a bell, like the way it rang a bell in my head, like, for goodness sake, why can't the men do the same? And I just thought about it that, okay, probably by next year's vow, you'll see a lot of men doing that day. You see a lot of men leaving their offices on time, because that is what women do. You see a lot of men shaving. You see a lot of men changing their boxers, their singlet. You see a lot of men doing this thing because they want to impress a girl. They want to go visit a girl. And suddenly, something just went viral than this one. And what went viral was the fact that most ladies were saying that when you go visit a guy, the guy needs to pay your transport fare. And I'm like, for goodness sake, are we going back? We are telling guys that we are the same. We do the same things. We deserve to be treated the same way. So why do I need to pay? Why are we making it look like it is a big deal for a guy to pay our transport fare, like transport fare, as cheap as transport fare is? And you need to see the girl that said that thing. She is like well gifted, and I'm like, for goodness sake, is this not a misplaced priority? Like, to be sincere, which guy, how many guys would look at your face when they can see other things they like? Like, I think it's misplaced priority. Women think, oh, guys care about our makeup, our long wigs, our nails. Like, no, guys don't really look at those. They don't really care about those things. And I was like, for goodness sake, are we going backwards when we feel like our problem right now is transport fare, transportation? For goodness sake, okay, so I really don't want to talk about that. So when we are saying that we are the same, we are equal, why is it that one person needs to pay, or one person must pay for our transportation, for transport fare, as cheap as transport fare? And she went as far as talking about, oh, the guy needs to pay for your makeup. For goodness sake, when it's not that you're doing trade by barter, you pay the person your attention for good, like that. Anyways, so that is one of it. So if we're talking to the men, we need to make them understand that anybody can pay anybody's transport fare. Yes, fine, I know sometimes it shows that you appreciate the person, but it is not like a responsibility. We've passed that. Right? Then secondly, when we talk about breaking the bias or break the bias, are we talking to the women? For me, I feel we should be talking to the women, because the places, the people that would always run down another woman is a woman. Look at the Bianca and Obiano's wife. I can't remember her name. Look at that incident. You would see men having issues. You don't see them fighting. You don't see them slapping themselves. Like, I'm not in support of anybody slapping anybody. But believe me, right now, it is a woman's thing. A woman in the office, you need to see the way they treat other women. I remembered when a woman came out that she wants to become the president. A lot of women were there talking about, oh, how she needs to go back to the kitchen, how she needs to take care of her children. And I'm like, for goodness sake, when we say break the bias, who exactly are we talking to? When you talk about slapping right now, it is a woman's thing. You see women who treat other women badly. You would see, when you talk about the gender that calls women prostitute the most, they are women. Women, anytime you see a woman doing good, the next thing a woman is thinking of, oh, she's sleeping with somebody. Nobody, no gender calls a woman a prostitute than a woman. So when we talk about break the bias, who exactly are we talking to? Or finally, is it the government? Like, for the government, it's really funny when we say, oh, we want to talk about gender equality and this thing. For goodness sake, for me, like I've always said, it's a scam. When we talk about gender equality, we talk about gender equality that, oh, we're on same pay, we need to be treated equally. And a lot of times we go meet these people and we tell them, oh, you need to give us space in this your cabinet, you need to give us space in this your party. When we ask for things like that, that does not mean, for the fact that someone is giving us something, that does not mean we are at par. It does not mean that like, I really want people to just be open-minded. For the fact that we ask for something, that does not mean we are at par. You see, that is the main reason where we see people who bring in their girlfriends, their friends' girlfriends, their side chicks, and make them represent women. For the time of Jonathan, they said, oh, he had employed a lot of women. When you say puts in a lot of women, employed a lot of women, that does not mean we are at par. That is not gender equality. Gender equality means the same way you have the right to run for a position. That is the same way I have the right to run for that position. It's not you coming to give me a position. No, let the both of us contest. Let the both of us compete for that position. That is when we're talking about gender equality, not when you give me. Because we've seen a lot of women take positions and they say, oh, we have 45% of women in this position. You can't, like somebody that is just dating a man, that a side chick, you cannot say that side chick is the one representing women. So when we say that this person gave us a position, this person gave us this post, that is not gender equality. Please, we need to get that right. A lot of people, we've seen people who did a woman who did someone a favor and took a position. And for me personally, I don't think we have women in politics. All those ones we have in politics are just runs, right? They're just runs, not really women in politics. We've seen people, like, for goodness sake, when we talk about the government and we talk about break the bias, we've not gotten there at all. We've not gotten there. We've not even started. We see women who probably you did someone a favor, you're dating somebody and they give you position. That is why we see a lot of women who go into politics mess up big time. We've seen a woman who bought bra for millions of naira. We've seen a lot of women who would want to embezzle money more than men in the name of women in politics. That is not gender equality. That is not breaking the bias. We've not gotten there. I think this year we're meant to focus on women understanding, getting comfortable with other women being in power and being in charge, like just getting women accepting the fact that they are at par with men, they are at par with every other person. I think when we start from there, we begin to get it right, not just breaking the bias. And who exactly are we talking to? We need to take care of our home first before we start meeting the men. And with a lot of things going on, I don't think we're ready to break the bias ourselves as women. Anyways, this is Jesus, where you get to speak your truth without being judged. This is my 2 cents. But for you listening, for you watching, who exactly do you think the International Women's Theme is for? Is it for the women? Is it for the men? Is it for governments? What do you think? This is Jesus. Bye and stay safe.